purpose of this video is really to share a bit of wisdom really about I guess basic fish keeping. So I think one of the most impactful concepts I learned about very early on in my fish keeping hobby was we don't keep fish, we keep the water. And then by keeping the water healthy, the fish are healthy. So you can go another level above that and say, well, what's keeping the water healthy? Well, that's your filtration and your plant growth. So yeah, that's the kind of going to chat about that today really. Filtration is a huge part of fish keeping. Some people can get away, in inverted commas, with not using filters, but I think for the majority of us, we agree that filters are usually a good idea. This is the most surprising tank for me so far this year, probably because it's just turning out really lovely, and I didn't really have any fixed intention for it. I did scape it originally at a workshop, and I've just evolved it kind of gradually over the weeks. It's filtered with, we talked about water quality, it's filtered with an Oase BioStyle 75, I want to say. So it's at the capacity. This is, you wouldn't really have anything smaller filtering this. There's actually no fish in here right now, excuse the flickering. But I would be interested to know, as always, what fish would you like to see in here. I think it's got quite a, I want to say Asian vibe, but there's Anubias as well. So, probably some Asian fish. It would be nice, a small shoal of chili rasboras maybe, or a big shoal of chili rasboras. You could probably have about 20 in here, or maybe some Galaxy rasboras would be nice. I really do like those. We can tell a story about conservation and stuff around that, because I think they're pretty rare to find in the wild now. Just really happy with the progress. It's one of those tanks with plants in that will just keep kind of bushing out and getting more textured, more thicker, and it's just a case of thinning that out to keep the composition that you want. So it's always evolving. The Sagittaria in the background is a really fast grower. Needs thinning out, pretty regularly in order to stop it taking over. But I quite like that. I quite like getting my hands in there, playing around. I like to get my hands wet. So this, I think the media is just like a couple of sponges. I might have taken even more out. I can't remember. But because there's no fish at the moment, there's just snails and shrimp and plant growth. So there's no requirement for a lot of filter media. But you could, if I wanted to, when I do eventually add fish, I'll probably add some extra media in the back there. There's a fair bit of space behind there, and that filter media would get the flow it needed, and it would improve the overall biological filtration of the tank. So lots of options here. So this is like your classic ceramic rings that you'd find in other brands of filter, but it's good that Oase they're doing it all with their own brands, so they realise that people do want to change the media that's supplied with the Oase Biomasters. Then we've got Zeolith. I'm guessing that's like zeolite, which takes ammonia out, I think. Then this looks very much like something like Seachem Matrix, which is a popular choice for a lot of Oase Biomaster keepers. They like to swap the supplied media out with this. My personal view is the sponges that come supplied with the Biomasters are okay. That's all I use in my tanks right now. So it isn't necessary to kind of, in inverted commas, upgrade the current media. And I think I have a hypothesis that people that pack too much of this in their biomaster will restrict the flow, and that can lead to maybe some intake of air. A similar story with people that don't clean the pre-filters frequently enough. As I always say, once a week when you do your water change, clean your pre-filters. Yeah, dogs are kicking off again. This is cute. This is the Biorb. This is what I did with Ben. He's goes by Worcester Terrariums on YouTube. Really good guy, and they're going to be doing a lot more work with him hopefully. Some really good growth there. I think this is like a rare philodendron. Let me know if you know what it is on the right hand side. And then there's this as well. These leaf tips tend to curl up at certain times. It's really cool. There's no livestock in it, just moss and various plants. There's isopods in the back as well. Not sure if we can see any today. And then we've got the cichlid tank. There's Betty. Hello, cheeky girl. It's a beautiful day out there today. This is the cichlid tank. It's not a very good angle. Fed them already today, but they'll be hungry again. Getting really big now. So this is an Oase 300 high line rim divider, and it's got 2 Biomaster 850s on it. So yeah, these are the Biomasters, no CO2, but because there's so many fish and they're so big, it needs that extra filtration. But that, like I said earlier, that's supplied with just the sponges, which is all I use. But I do have the new inlet pipes and the upgraded inlet pipes, which have a wider diameter holes, and it's more of a higher quality product, like in terms of its plastic form. Anyway, so yeah, water quality, it's done by filters and plants. So we've got plants in here, and these will be contributing to the air quality. So by growing plants, you actually contribute to the water quality as well. So it's quite similar. Yeah, lots of house plants. Watered them today actually. I tend to miss them most days. It's got loads of good natural light up here. It's a beautiful day. Very grateful. This is my sim rig, which I don't tend to play during the day. I tend to play it in the evening. And then doing a couple of new shallow tanks to copy the waterfall concept here. Excuse me. So this is looking really lovely, really low maintenance, just topping it up with rainwater. Occasionally siphoning water from my Dutch tank into here to top this up. Tommy! Speaking of the Dutch tank, here we go. This is looking quite impressive now. Really need to thin out the Sagittaria on the right. And then I have actually bought some Rotala Rotundifolia Blood Red. I bought it from literally half an hour ago from Crown Gardens. Speaking of which, Tommy, trying to film, mate. Let's go and see what he's up to. Good boy. What's the matter? Hey? So this is the Scoper Line 6D with, what is it now? This is Twin Star S Type 4. Really nice light. I run it on, I think it's got 7 settings, and I run it on 4 or 5, I think. So it's not that I don't have it on the brightest setting, and it's got a light ground as well, which looks really nice. The blue background, excuse the reflections. Lots of shrimp breeding in here. So this is interesting. This Daragini carpet is looking pretty sweet. Like getting the effect of the street that I wanted. I'm not a big fan of this Hygrophila I just think it's too similar to the Terrarium. And I think by changing that to red, this one here, Methyla rotundifolia, which will be bright red. So if you imagine now, looking at the full tank, we've got some ready plant here, which is the Cryptalbida brown, and some ready plant here, which is Cryptocorymoia, and they're very symmetrical in terms of their positioning and colour. So by offsetting some colour here, where the hygrophila is, so there's a couple of choices. We can remove, like, say, half the hygrophila and plant the blood red in its place, or we can be really bold and just remove it all and plant it all, which is what I'm going to do, I think. I'm just floating the blood red in there just to keep the light on it. It actually grows inside the cup, and I love these because you don't get any algae or snails on the plants, and you get so many. I think there's about 100 odd stems, literally, for £6, I think, which is really good. Happy to pay that. This is my Highline 400, arguably one of my best scapes, I think. And I've read this has been running for its current form at least three plus years now. So I really love it, and I'm just going to keep it going for now. I was considering going to a Highline 600, but I'm going to go instead have a Scapeline 90. So that'll go somewhere along here, and then I want to sell this, so if anyone's interested in buying this. So this is my little beautiful waterfall feature, 25 centimetres square by 9 centimetres. It's just really, really low maintenance. The shrimp are breeding in there. This is Hygrophila. Actually grows really well as a carpeting plant here in the Dutch tank. And this is it growing out of the water here, which is, I think, is really cool to see. They're both forms. It's interesting, you can actually see how different it is. So more robust stem, more like hairs on the leaves, quite an interesting, intricate texture with the versus the Hygrophila in the water. So there we have it, a quick rundown of all my aquariums, and the one common theme that all filtered with Wase filtration. There are other filters on the market, of course, but I just love the Biomaster. Been using them now for 6 years. For those that don't know, there's a Biomaster 2 version out now, which you can now buy directly from the website if you're from North America. So do check out the link in the pinned comment and description if you want to look into that. The video opened up with the concept of, we don't really keep fish, we keep the water. And just to kind of go in a bit more detail on that, filtration is really important. Don't necessarily have to use a Wase filtration, of course, lots of other great filters out there. But now with their improved kind of media options, if that's what you want to do, lots of options there. And just the pre-filter is a game changer for me. And now with the improved inlet strainer and overall design, it's making any of these kind of challenges that some owners have much less frequent. So something to consider if you're looking for a new filtration solution. I do have a few updates as well. We talked about new Scapeline 90, that's going to come next week. Unsure what scape I'm going to do in there. Considering Brazilian style, so basically a hybrid of a Iwagumi and a Dutch style. It's probably the easiest way to describe it, although I'm not sure many people would agree. There will be a big update on my Dutch Scapeline here. Going to, as we discussed, replace some of the Hygrophila with the Rotala blood red and give it a good trim. There'll be a huge update video on that, which will be exciting for me anyway. Not the most viewed videos I do, but it's all good fun. Other things to update you on, this is just running on autopilot really, so easy to maintain, just removing any crypt and excessive growth from the swords, etc. It really is a joy to live with, and I don't see it being changed anytime soon. It's really interesting though, the wood is actually being eaten by the Amano shrimp, I believe, and you can really now see it starting to get smaller and smaller. I wonder if the trigger for changing the scape will be actually when the wood is completely disappeared. I do have another couple of exciting announcements for the future. This spring, in May 2025, there's the RHS, that's the Royal Horticultural Society show in Malvern near Worcester, and I'll hopefully be there with Ben from Worcester Terrariums and helping to contribute to some beautiful displays, aquascapes, maybe the paludarium as well, maybe even a bio-bear. So if you can make it there, RHS Melbourne, I'll leave a link to that in the description. I might even be giving a talk or a workshop, which would be great, and it'd be great to see you guys there if you can make it. My mum's going to be there as well, so I'm going to make her a proud mum. I'm looking forward to that. And I also have availability for a one-on-one workshop. So just visit my website and click on the workshop link, and there's an opportunity to create a brand new island kind of waterfall thing with me, and you get to take it home. So if you're interested in that, you live in the UK, then yeah, just go on the website, and you can, if you want to ask any further questions about it, you can always email me at the contact link in the description again. So I hope you enjoyed that video, a bit different, a bit of a vlog style, wandering around with my phone, and it's just a great opportunity to share the progress of my scapes and what's coming up in the future. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the video, please hit the like, it really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and leave me a comment, you know, what fish should we put in the nature aquarium here? Any other ideas other than the Chile rasboras or the Galaxy rasboras? That would be cool. Also potentially some other display fish in here. I do love the platies. I just think they're beautiful little fish, so characterful, very playful. Oh, and if you're not subscribed to Practical Fishkeeping yet, worth considering doing so. Some great aquascaping articles in there pretty much every month. I'm doing more work in there as well. So if you want actually a paper magazine or even digital or something a bit more in depth than just scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, etc., you can have a bit more of a deeper knowledge about these things and support the UK's only freshwater specialist magazine at the moment. Speaking of which, there's also a community event organised by Practical Fishkeeping magazine and Aquarium Gardens. So it's actually Monday the 7th of April, I believe. I'll put some details on the screen right now for you, but it's free to come along. I'll be there, Tice Treatment will be there, he'll be doing a live scaping workshop. There'll be a Q&A expert panel session with me, Ty, Dave Pearce, the owner, and Alex Bell, the PFK editor. A great opportunity to connect with other like-minded hobbyists, and yeah, just be really cool to hang out and get all nerdy about aquarium plants and aquascaping. So maybe you can make that one as well. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm going to go now. Cheerio.